inspired by a practice I did with my teacher. But of course, I always change things up and kind of make it my own, especially, you know, for a more gentle group. But we'll be working with the energy of the tiger today. So in Chinese New Year, this is the year of the tiger. And it's based on kind of the concepts of Chinese astrology. And every year there's a different animal. Last year was, I think, the year of the ox or something like that. And this year is the year of the tiger. And then along with the animal of the year, it also coincides with an element that goes with it. So this year is the year of the tiger with the water element, and it changes the flavor of it. So if it were the year of the tiger with the earth element, that would be different. So this is the year of the tiger with the water element. And then on top of that, it could be a yin or a yang year. So it's very complicated. And it happens to be a yang year, which yang is more energetic and forceful, where yin is more passive and kind of withdrawn. So it implies there's a bit of energy in this cycle. So the water tiger is said to be very courageous and confident. There's a potency, an alertness. And if we look at the word for tiger in yoga world, the word for tiger is vairagya, which sounds like a medication that we all are familiar with, right? So vairagya is the word for a tiger, which implies this kind of strength and virility. It is said that this tiger, water tiger energy is about cleansing. So if you think about water, it can be calming, relaxing, or it can be forceful and cleansing and almost destructive. So the water yang phase and tiger is one that's very cleansing. It's said that this year of the tiger has a strong sense of justice and a commitment to the greater good. It can be overconfident and rash. So we have to kind of temper that energy of the tiger. And it's like, if you're born in the year of the tiger, then this like even applies to you more. So you have to look up your sign in Chinese astrology to see if this is like really applies to you. But it applies to everything in general. But if you were born in year of the tiger, it's even more so to you. Okay, so it's this year said it's about breaking out of restrictions. So hopefully that's a good sign that maybe we're going to get to the end of this pandemic. Let's hope. Okay, so that's about it as far as the introduction goes. I also want to show you guys a quick little picture. This is in the yoga tradition. There's a tiger there. This is a goddess. Her name is Durga. And Durga, her vehicle is a tiger. And she's said to be the goddess that you call on when you're in deep trouble. And she slays demons in all the stories. And then the stories, the demons represent the ego. So this year, the tiger kind of ties in with that, kind of tempering the ego energy and watching out for this being overly forceful action. So we're going to do a lot of work today that really gets into being really fluid in our movements. So there's that water element, kind of moving like a tiger. It's going to be kind of a creative, fun practice for you guys today. So go ahead, come on your backs. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and we're going to get started. Okay, so go ahead, just take a couple moments to settle in. Begin to find your nice soft breath. And so right away, our breath can temper any kind of overly rash feelings that we might be having, tempering the ego. Let's just take about 3 more breaths to settle. Feel your body resting on the ground. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and take a full body stretch. Reach the arms and legs out. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give a little squeeze. And then we're going to take the knees over the hips and the arms straight up toward the ceiling. Separate your legs a little bit away from each other so they're about hips distance apart. So we're going to start with kind of what's called a cross crawl on the back. So I want you to take your right arm, start to reach it overhead, and your left leg start to straighten it out in front of you. Go as far as it feels right for you, and then we're going to bring it slowly back in. And then left arm, right leg, extend. So we're going to keep that going in slow motion. Looks like we're tiger crawling through the forest, but we're on our backs here. And we're going to go really slow. Being mindful of your lower back here. So let's, just like we talked about last couple classes with the core work, I want you to keep your back ribs nice and planted on the ground. We want to try not to overarch our lower back. So as we're doing this little cross crawl, we're engaging those core muscles. Let's do it just a few more rounds. All right, let's go ahead now, release, hug those knees into the chest. And we'll bring the feet down. Extend your left leg out long. Keep the right leg bent. On your next inhale, reach your left arm overhead. We'll come into a full body stretch on the left side. Keep your right arm down with your hand close to your foot. And then we're going to inhale, stretch long through the left side. Arm and leg reaching, and then slide your right hand towards your right foot, come into a little side bend, and see if you can look right at your left arm or hand. And then release, and we come back to the starting point. Okay, so let's repeat that. Inhale, left side lengthens, maybe look towards your hand, slide your right hand down, and then release. So go ahead, do a few more cycles just like that. And what we're doing here is lengthening the left side hip flexor, psoas muscle, as that'll be helpful in one of our tiger poses today. Let's do a few more cycles. One more on this side. Good, and then release, take your arms out to a T, keep your right leg where it is. So I really find that somatic work really brings a lot of fluidity into our bodies, which is, you know, that flavor of the water tiger today. So we're gonna do a couple more somatic movements. Take your right leg, drop it over towards your left knee, look over your right shoulder, lift your right hip, and let your right shoulder start to roll under you, like you're starting to make a spiral with that arm, and then you can release and come back to the start. So this is the one that most of you know we call unwinding. Right knee drops to the left, push in your foot, lift your right hip, and let your right shoulder draw down. And then release. We're going to add on to this movement in a moment. Let's do one more. Again, we're opening up the right hip flexor, psoas muscle. It's going to be good for this one tiger pose. And let's go ahead and pause. Okay, the next part we're going to add on is sliding the left leg into like a bound ankle. So let's try that a few times. Slide your left knee out to the side, almost like you'll do tree pose on your back, and then extend. And we're going to put that together with the first movement. Let's do that one or two more times. Slide, just so you get the hang of that part. Lots of fluidity in the hip joints here. Okay, now as you drop your right knee over toward the left, Slide the left foot up and come into down angle. Look over your right shoulder. Spiral your left shoulder down. And then come back to the start. Slide your left leg out, right knee vertical. Okay, let's try that a few times. Right knee drops to the left, slide the left foot up, look over your right shoulder and roll the right shoulder down, and then release back to the start. Okay, keep going. We're going to add one more piece on here. Do that again. You ever need to, you can always look up and see what I'm doing if you're not sure. Okay, next round, do the same thing. Slide into it. Now lift your left foot, left shin off the ground. You get a little bit more twist and then release back to the start. Okay, 3 more now, just like that. Slide up, lift that shin and foot, shoulder rolls down, and release. 2 more cycles. Make sure you're moving slowly, like you're in water, you're underwater, very fluid. Now after this one, pause, slide both legs out and just take a moment, observe your body. And just feel the right side, the right leg, right hip. Just notice how it might feel a little different than the left side after that opening there. Okay, let's do the other side. We're going to bend the left knee. Extend the right arm overhead. And we'll start with just that reaching. So left hand is down towards your left foot. Inhale, reach long through right arm, right leg. Look over your left shoulder. Slide your hand towards your foot. And release. So all this hip flexor psoas lengthening is going to help us in some of the later postures. Do a couple more like this. Okay, let that be the last one. Now we're going to take the arms out to a T. And we're going to do the unwinding 3 variations. Drop the left knee to the right, look over your left shoulder, and let your left shoulder blade slide down as if it's going to touch your foot, and release back to the start. Okay, keep going, push off your foot, let your hip lift, you're squeezing the back of the hip, and continue. I just realized I forgot to plug my mic in, so I'm guessing you guys can hear me okay, or I would have heard from you. So hopefully it's loud enough. Okay, now finish that one. We're gonna add the leg slide on the right. So right foot slides up and do that same action of dropping the left knee over. So keep that going now. Left knee drops to the right, right foot slides up. Let your shoulder roll down, push into your foot. And let's do 2 more like this. And make sure we're still being consciously aware of our breath. Last one like this. Okay, now adding the lifting of the foot and the shin. Adds a little more twist through the torso. Couple more cycles. Two more times. Last one. All right, go ahead, slide everything out, take a pause, feel and sense. Okay, from here we're gonna roll over onto our right side. And I'm just gonna flip around so I'm facing you guys on the right side. We're gonna stack the knees up, and here's where you might want a pillow under your head. So you could stick a folded blanket there. I'm okay resting my head on my arm, but if you need more, you're gonna go ahead and add that extra pillow. Take your top arm, reach it overhead, and you're gonna hold your wrist with your bottom hand. And give a little traction, lengthen that side body. Now we're gonna take the top leg and extend it, hover it above the ground. As you inhale, lengthen from your arm through your leg and start to take your leg back behind you and roll your chest toward the ground. That leg roll reaches back and then come back to the starting point. Good. Inhale, reach through the arm, let your chest roll forward, top leg reaches back, and then return. Again, we're lengthening hip flexor psoas. Keep going. So the psoas is sometimes referred to as our juicy center. And if it gets really tight and dry, it can cause lack of fluidity in our hips. So we're working on creating that fluidity today to channel that tiger energy. So you first see a tiger move. It's very fluid, but very strong. One more like this. Good, now we're gonna keep going, but we're gonna bend the leg as we take it back, like a hamstring curl. Curl that thigh, move the thigh bone back as you roll your chest forward and then come back to the start. And repeat. Leg curls back behind you, move your thigh back, roll your chest. Two more like this. Move on and inhale into the movement pattern and exhale to release. Last time. Good. Now keep the leg up, but release the top hand. Now we're going to add a little crunch. So we're going to inhale and we're going to exhale. Bring the elbow and knee together in front of you. Curl into a little ball. Tuck your head in. And then inhale, take the leg back, roll the chest forward. And you could do it with a straight leg or a bent leg. Curl in as you exhale. Inhale, open up. Chest rolls forward. Exhale, curl in. Two more. Last round. And then we're going to release onto your back. And just take a pause again. Notice that top side versus the bottom side. Maybe legs come out for a moment. And then we're going to swap it over, do that sequence on the other side. So I'm going to spin around. Okay. Pillow for your head if you need it. Top arm reaches overhead, hold your wrist, lengthen. Top leg extends, straighten it and hover it. And then inhale, lengthen, exhale, I'm gonna roll forward, take that leg behind you. Inhale back to the start. Keep going. It doesn't really matter which breath pattern you do as long as you're breathing here. The inhale works equally well as you come into it as when you lengthen in the center. So it's up to you, but keep breathing. As that leg goes back behind you, feel the front of the hip, even feel the back of the hip. We're using those glutes like we did a couple of weeks ago. Now start to add the hamstring curl, bend the knee, take your thigh bone back, roll your chest forward. Keep going. So that front of the hip gets really tight because as a culture, we're always in a sitting position, very much part of our day. So this is really good for opening up the front of the hip. All right, last one, then we're going to add in the crunch. Good, starting position, free the top hand, inhale, exhale, curl into a ball, elbow to knee, tuck your head in. And then inhale, open it up, leg moves back, chest rolls forward. Exhale, curl in. Keep going. Take your time. We don't want to get into momentum. I'm always reminding you guys of that. So I want you to feel what's going on in your bodies. Pay attention to the sensations. Last one. And then we're going to roll and come onto our bellies. Put your hands on your forehead, rest down a moment. Let everything settle. And then we're going to prop up onto our forearms like Sphinx posture. And you're going to bring your palms together. Walk your elbows forward so you can lift your palms up. Then we're going to lift the feet and bring the inner edges of your feet together. Take your knees a little bit apart, okay? Now, as you inhale, we're gonna lift the palms, try to lift your thighs and come into like a back bend. And as you exhale, shins down, palms down, let your head go. Good, repeat. Inhale, feet together. Pull forward from that lower abdomen and exhale, release. Targeting that same area here, a few more cycles. We got one more round. And let it all go. Come back down onto your abdomen. Rest your head on your hands. Give your hips a little wiggle side to side. Maybe a little windshield wiper action. And we're going to move back into child's pose. So slide your hands back and press all the way back. Take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. All right, let's go ahead, come up into tabletop position. And we're going to get those tiger paws out again that we used last week. Press through your finger pads, help lift that center of the heel of the hand. And then let's go ahead and circle the hips around. So getting nice and fluid through the hips. And you can start to kind of channel this tiger energy by just really moving around. Maybe you're going to go side to side, move your shoulders around now, and just start to get really slinky in this positioning. So just make it random. See what feels good. Can you allow a little creativity here? So water element is very creative. Okay, coming back to the start now. Let's take a couple rounds of our traditional cat-cow. Take an inhale, exhale, round, press through those finger pads. Stay with those tiger paws. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. we're going to add a breath pattern that we're going to work with today. So in the yoga tradition, tiger and lion are used kind of interchangeably. And one of the poses we're doing is called tiger. One of them is called lion. We'll be okay with that. So we're going to add an exhale through the mouth. So as you inhale, arch, inhale through your nose, and then exhale out through your mouth. Keep that going. Inhale, arch through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. With a big sigh through your mouth. 2 more cycles. So we use this called the lion's breath. It's very good for clearing our throat energy, our throat chakra energy, getting our frustrations out. After this next one, go ahead and move it back to your child's pose once again. Give those arms a little rest. All right, back up into your tabletop pose. Inhale, we're gonna arch. And as we exhale, the toes are tucked under. We're gonna move back toward a child's pose, but only part way. Let your elbows soften down. And then inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull back, and you might do that exhale through the mouth, out through your mouth. 2 more. Looks like you're ready to pounce. You might keep your gaze looking forward. Tiger energy is very alert, very ready, with a readiness. All right, now we're gonna add on, come back to tabletop. We're gonna add in opposite arm, opposite leg, and then we'll move back to child's pose just like we did. So it looks like our cross crawl. So right arm, left leg on the inhale. Exhale, hand down, move back towards your child's pose. As you spring forward, left arm, right leg, inhale. Exhale, back through your mouth. And continue. Inhale. Arm and leg. Exhale back. Get a nice rhythm going here. Try to stay very level in your pelvis as you reach an arm and leg. And now we're going to add on. Come back to your tabletop pose. From here, we're going to inhale, right leg back behind you. Lift it up nice and high. Exhale, curl in. Repeat. Inhale, take that leg up and back. Exhale, curl in. One more time. Out through the mouth if you can. And then knee down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, move back. Rest those wrists. Inhale, come up. And left leg. Inhale, leg back and up. Exhale, curl in. Keep going. Nice long exhale. One more time. Good. Knee down. Back to your child's pose. Very good. All right. If you have a blanket down, let's go ahead and take the blanket off. We'll start to work with some standing poses or active poses. You got socks on, take those off. Okay, so we're gonna work with a little down dog energy, but we're gonna make it more tiger-like today. So have fun with it. Back to your tabletop pose, find your tiger pause. And let's step the hands forward a few inches, so we're more of a down dog angle with the arms. Keep plugging those finger pads in, and then we're gonna lift up the knees, but keep everything bent, and you're gonna keep your hips high. Looks like you're kind of a crouching tiger here. And we're gonna lift and lower the knees. So lower and lift. Lower and lift. One more. Good. Take your feet wide as your mat. Keep your knees bent. And walk your hands back to your feet. Keep a good bend in your knees, and we're gonna let the hips kind of circle around. So you're gonna bend one knee then the other and just kind of let the hips make a circle. You can let your shoulders get into it. Just be really fluid and then reverse your direction. Going the other way. Might not feel as natural, but go with it. Okay, back to the center. Knees generously bent. Roll up. Use your legs. Come all the way up. And we'll find our mountain pose. All right, roll your shoulders out a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, little bend in those knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we rise, reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. 2 more rounds, half sun sow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to do one more round. Always remember you can go with your own breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. All right, let's make sure we have blocks at the top of the mat. And we're going to build some lunges into our sequence. So if you are on a hard surface and you want to have a blanket for under your back knee, make sure that's nearby. And then standing in your mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your blocks. Inhale and step your right foot to the back of your mat. And we're going to drop that knee down to the ground. As you inhale, reach your arms up. And you're going to get out your tiger claws. And you're going to pull down with an exhale through your mouth. 2 more rounds. Inhale up. And then one more time. Inhale up. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down to your blocks. Lift your back knee, step it forward. Fold over your legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And keep going. Inhale, arms reach, second side. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, step your left foot back. Drop down onto that knee. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, pull down. 2 more. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the blocks. Back knee lifts. Step it forward. Folding over your legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, back knee down. One time this time. Inhale, reach up. Pull down. Inhale, reach up. Hands come back down to the blocks or the floor. And we're going to bring both hands inside the front foot. Walk your left foot to the left. Walk your right knee to the right. Pat it if you need to. And we're going to circle our hips around a bit. So getting back into that nice fluid movement in our hips. Circle the other direction. Good. Back to the start. Step that foot back. Now you're back in tabletop position. We're going to repeat a pose we did last week and try to add on. So we're going to swing the left shin out to the side. Take your right leg back. Come into your side plank. Bring your hand onto your hip. Push through that bottom palm and turn that arm bone a little open so we get the shoulder open. Top leg is going to float up, next phase. Okay, we've been working with opening this top hip. So now we're going to bend the top knee like a hamstring curl, and maybe you can catch your foot with your hand. And then reach your thigh bone away from you, lengthening the front of the leg. Maybe curl open into a bit of a back bend. If that's too much, you can do any version. You can keep the leg out or down. Good. Inhale, reach the arm and leg up. And then hand comes down, back to tabletop pose. Downward facing dog, walk it forward. Hands to blocks if you need them. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Okay, let's pause here. I'm going to do that sequence now on the other side. You guys are doing great. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold, hands to blocks. Inhale, step your left leg back. And we're going to drop down onto that back knee. Inhale, arms reach. Pull down. One time. Inhale, arms up. Hands back to the blocks. We're going to widen the right foot. Widen the left knee. You can stay up on your blocks. You can lower your blocks or bring your hands to the ground. And then we're going to circle those hips around. Lots of fluidity into the hip joint. Reverse, go the other way. All right, back to the center. Step that foot back. We're in tabletop position. Swing your right shin out to the side. Take your left leg back. And we're coming into our side plank. I'm going to spin around. Okay, make sure that bottom shoulder is back. So we turn that arm bone a little open. Top leg can float up. Arm could reach initially. And then we're going to bend that knee, come into that curl. Maybe we're going to be able to catch the foot. If that's too much, you're just going to bend the knee. Do what you can, or keep the foot on the ground. Maybe curl open a bit. Take your head back. Good. Slowly release. Back down to tabletop position. Downward facing dog. Okay, walk it forward, top of the mat. Blocks if you need them. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, we're going to repeat that sequence one more time. And this time we're going to come into our tiger pose. This is the first version of tiger pose. We got 2 today. So back to mountain. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. You can use your blocks if you need them. Right foot steps back. Back knee down. Inhale, the arms reach. One time, pull down. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale up. Hands come down inside the foot. Walk your foot over. Circle your hips a couple times. and go the other way. Okay, back to center. Step back. You're in your tabletop position. So it's almost like that opposite arm, opposite leg movement, but now we're going to add in the tiger pose. Right leg back. Pad those knees if you need to. Lift the leg up. Hamstring curl. Bend your knee. Lift your thigh bone. This is stage 1 of the pose. Stage 2, we're going to peel the left hand up. Reach back, maybe you can catch your foot, and you're going to try and lift your thigh, lift your chest. You can't get it, you're just reaching back. Good, release. And back to child's pose this time. All right, downward facing dog. And you're going to walk forward, top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach. We've got one more side to go, guys. And hands to heart. Okay, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left foot back. Drop that knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull down. Inhale up, hands come inside the front foot. Widen that front foot and circle the hips around. Reverse your circle, other direction. Back to center, step that foot back. You're in your tabletop position. Patting those knees if you need to. Left leg back. Tone your belly, lift that leg up. And then hamstring curl. Bend the knee, lift your thigh. You can stay right there, or right arm is going to reach back. Maybe you're going to catch that foot. And then lift your thigh, lift your chest. Push in your supporting hand. And release. Move it back, child's pose. And we're done with most of the hard work. We're going to transition into some seated work on the floor. Nice job, guys. Okay, let's come into a seated position. And you might want to sit up on your folded blanket here. Pull your sit bones apart. And we'll sit up nice and tall. Okay, inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, hinge forward, bring your hands in front of you. And we're going to take that fluid movement from side to side. You might even get your shoulders into it and just kind of walk your palms out. Maybe you'll be able to come a little bit more into the forward fold. And then pause. Think about your sit bones sticking out behind you, which will help lengthen your lower back. And then we're going to come into kind of like Sphinx pose here. Bring your elbows to your legs. Pin them against your legs. Like push them in, put your tiger paws down, and pull your chest forward as your sit bones go back. Hold there another breath or two, getting into those hips again. And then slowly walk it up. Take a pause at the top. Okay, let's switch the legs and repeat. Opposite leg in the front, widen your sit bones apart. The widening the sit bones helps with the forward tilt as well as kind of sticking your sit bones back. Inhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands in front of you, and then do that nice little sway, side to side. Maybe the shoulders are getting involved. Just channeling that tiger energy. And then coming to stillness, pin your upper arms to your legs like a sphinx posture and pull forward through your chest. Spread out your tiger paws, hold another breath. Sit bones draw back. Good, slowly, slowly walking it up and take a pause at the top. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the second version of tiger or lion in this case. We're gonna grab a block. And you might want to have, let's take a blanket and open it up so it's a little bit flatter. So we have a little knee support in front. And we're gonna sit on the block if you can, okay? If any of this is too much, you're gonna come back to cross leg and you're gonna do everything in cross leg. So I have the block under my sit bones and my knees are bent. You could also use a block with a blanket on top that'll help you lift up a little more off your knees. 2 blocks is another option, or sit cross leg. And we're gonna take the knees apart. Okay, so we're wide with those knees and sit up tall. Okay, inhale, reach your arms up. And we're gonna bend the elbows, cross the wrists, and bring your palms back behind you onto your upper back. Reach your elbows up as your sit bones drop down. So this one is actually called Mandugasana, which is frog. We're not in lion's pose yet, but it's very similar. We're reaching those elbows up, up, up. Good, now inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, bring your hands down in front of you, walk them out a little bit, spread your tiger paws out. So now this one is called the lion's pose, but we're gonna add on, we're gonna inhale, lift up high onto your fingertips, exhale, bend your elbows and come down. Okay, and then we're gonna add that breath. So we're gonna inhale, you look up a little bit, an arch to your back, and then exhale out through your mouth. Now, traditionally in this yoga pose, we stick the tongue out and we open the eyes wide. It's a very powerful energy. So if you're not feeling self-conscious and you wanna do that, you can add that on. So it's an inhale, we look up, and then exhale, you stick your tongue out and go out your throat. So it's like an expression of through the throat chakra, we get energy out, we get any stuckness out of our throat chakra. But you can also just do that exhale through your mouth. Okay, so now we're gonna come up and we're gonna do the final version of our lion or tiger pose here. Hands on your thighs. We're gonna press the thighs down into the ground and lift your chest. Now, as you inhale, it's like cat-cow. We arch the back, look up, spine goes in, and then exhale, round with that exhale through the mouth. Inhale, we come up and we arch. Exhale. One more time. Good, then we'll come back to the center, pause, relax your arms. Take a breath or two. You just moved a lot of energy through your body. All right, so we're gonna slowly start to come off of the block and let's make our way back down onto our backs. All the hard work is done. So you might want a pillow for under your head. We're gonna come down and hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit from right to left. So take your time, give you guys a minute to get there. All right. We're gonna bring those knees in if you haven't. Give them a good squeeze. And then let your arms come down, bring your knees over your hips. And we're gonna make circles with the knees. So go around in a big circle. So it's a little bit of core and a little bit of lower back release. And at some point, reverse, go the other direction. Back to the center, set your feet down. Pause and adjust. Take your feet as wide as your mat and windshield wiper from right to left. Let your head go opposite of your knees. Couple more cycles. Good. Next time your legs drop over to the left, keep them there and swing your right knee on top of your left knee, maybe even a little past. And then back to the center, feet flat, legs to the right, swing your left knee as if you're gonna touch your elbow or your hand and go side to side. Nice and easy, go slow. Try not to rush. We're cooling it down now. Next time you come over to the left and swing that left leg over, stay there. You might cross the left leg over the right, come into a twist, or you could stack your knees up. You could also put your block underneath your knee for a little extra support. So either knees stacked, crossed with the right leg on top, or put blocks under your legs. So we're coming into a twist for a little bit. Try to even out your shoulder blades by pulling the left shoulder blade to the left. Take a couple breaths, nice outer hip stretch. All right, if the legs are crossed, bring the top leg on top of the bottom leg, and then bring the top foot to the ground, come back to the center. Even yourself out. Drop the knees over to the right, swing the left leg over, and then either stay in the twist with the legs stacked or cross the top leg over the bottom leg, come into a cross leg twist. Pull the right shoulder blade to the right. Remember, you can put a block under your legs, which will take some of the strain here out of your lower back. So if it feels a little tender there, give yourself that support. Couple breath cycles here. All right, let's slowly come back to the center, even yourself out again. Bring those knees back into your chest. You can stay there, do some more circles, or you can bring it into a happy baby. If you prefer a happy baby, bring your feet up, hold your feet, rock a little side to side. Okay, when you're ready, let those legs float down, find your Shavasana. So grab any props that you might want, maybe something under your knees or under your head. Cover up if you're cold. And I'll give you guys a couple moments to settle in. So in order to regain their strength, tigers must take a lot of time for rest. When they're not hunting or eating, they're often resting or sleeping. So give yourself this recuperation time to regain your strength and vitality. Yoga is all about balance. We need to move our bodies, but we also need to let our bodies have stillness. So a little reading here for you as you start to drift into Shavasana. So this is from a book called The Hidden Language, Symbols, Secrets, and Metaphor in Yoga. So there's a lot of metaphor, a lot of symbolism, a lot of animal symbolism. So the lion or tiger, powerful symbol, giving a message to those who sense that their potential could be fulfilled by wise action. The seeds of wisdom are available to anyone who looks for them, and that knowledge might be offered by a teacher in proportion to the sincerity of the seeker. The lion, tiger are symbols of the sun, and the sun in turn is the symbol of the highest wisdom. The highest wisdom of consciousness beyond all expectation, leading to the light that is innate in that wisdom, and thereby representing a great power, like an atom that is freed from encumbrances. For the aspirant, this posture can be symbolic for gaining sovereignty over all of the natures within, just like the lion and tiger are the rulers over all beasts. If the words of wisdom are heard, they resonate within like a lion's roar, awakening the sleepwalker. One gains unhindered understanding of all nature, is omniscient and all-seeing, free from faults, and possessed of all merits. Having gone to the stage which is sovereign over all natures, utters the lion's roar. My births are finished, the pure life fully restored to, the duty is done, and there is nothing to be known beyond this. So a symbol of great wisdom, knowledge, power. All right, everyone. So take a couple moments now, awakening in slow motion. Deepening your breath, moving a little bit at a time. And eventually making some bigger movements before coming over onto your side. Have a pause on your side before coming back to a seated posture. We're going to sit for a minute or two, so make sure you have something that helps you be comfortable in a seated posture. Once you arrive seated, widen out the sit bones again, sit up tall. Either close your eyes or find a soft focal point. Coming into your soft belly breath with a strong back. See if you can get a sense of your vitality, your strength as it courses through your veins. And in this meditation, just kind of feeling the embodiment of tiger. So there's an old Zen saying, in movement, be like the tiger. In meditation, have the mind of the Buddha. In practice today, you moved a lot of energy. We moved energy through our throat, releasing energy that might have been unexpressed. We use the metaphor of tiger, lion energy to work on our suppleness, our fluid movement. And now we can use the metaphor of the lion or tiger, just like Durga, the goddess that I showed you in the beginning, slaying the ego mind. Slaying the demons of the mind with this alertness, this bright energy, let the chest be nice and open. Stay focused on your breath. This posture helps us to know the power within oneself. Helps us remember our vitality, our strength, our wisdom. So in this year of the tiger, the water tiger, this powerful water metaphor, cleansing. What needs to be cleared away for you? What needs to be cleansed so that you can create and build something new, something stronger, something more powerful, but something that is not from the ego, from that overconfidence, that brashness, that control. Can we be in our power without exerting control over others? Couple more breath cycles. Keep your brightness through your heart. And let's go ahead now, bring hands together in front of the heart space. And take an inhale, and as you exhale, bowing your head to your heart. All right, thank you everyone. Namaste. Hope you had fun today, expressing yourself as a tiger in our practice.